Perhaps you've seen it. Maybe in a dream. A murky, forgotten channel.
No! No!
So far from his path that I barely see the promise of glory. Can this be him? This Helverway?
My lord, everyone! Deadshota has returned.
Hey, Deadshota. You look like hammered shit. My ass. Where the fuck you been for 3 years?
My father, Guy Sensei, gave up everything he had. He abandoned me, so he could defend his country from people like you. I hated him for that. But now, here I am. With you.
So we are the same, Hasashi. Shaped by those we have lost.
It seems like you've missed a headshot. I regret to inform you, but you failed the challenge.
My name is Polyvalens. I'm going to tell you how all this really began. Hey guys, Polly here, and I know what you guys are wondering.
Where the fuck you been for 30 years?
For those new to the channel, you might be asking, who the fuck are you in the first place? Well, I'm just the artist behind the craziest challenge runs ever made. This time is no different. I'm showing you a challenge that, at first glance, sounds trivial. But believe me, it isn't. It might even be more brutal than my bleed-only run on Dark Souls 2. This is the headshot-only challenge. It's inspired by the Deadshot Daiquiri perk from the Call of Duty franchise.
Who needs a Deadshot Daiquiri or whatever the fuck that is?
That auto-aims for zombie heads. That's what gave me the idea to bring this mechanic into Elden Ring. Way back in my last video, I tried to do this challenge headshots only, but I gave up. Instead, I turned it into a crossbow-only run and showcased a bunch of glitches that basically broke the game. They were fun, they were busted, and yeah, they all got patched out. At the time, I ranted about how awful the aiming system was. Truth is, I didn't even have a method to know if a shot counted as a headshot or not. That's the core issue here. How do you confirm that a shot actually hit the head? That's what I had to figure out. And here's what I learned. Headshots in Elden Ring have a specific behavior. When the projectile hits the enemy's head, it deals 50% more damage than a normal body shot. If your arrow does them 120 to the body, a real headshot will deal for exactly 180. There are also two more signs to help confirm it. One is a splashier sound effect, very common in FPS games. The other is a stronger visual head impact, but those can be unreliable. The sound gets reused. The visuals change based on angle. And the camera? It's straight up gaslighting you half the time. That's why the damage number is the most important indicator. The only concrete proof. Here's the logic. If I know the value of X, the base damage my projectile deals to any random body part, then I can always tell if a shot was a real headshot or not. Because a headshot will always deal exactly 1.5 times X. No more, no less. But here's the obvious problem. How am I supposed to know my body damage beforehand if I'm not allowed to shoot the body during the challenge? Calculator? Memorize values from a wiki? Maybe. Let's go over the rules. If the damage number during the fight doesn't match the 1.5 times formula, it's not a headshot. which means the run's dead. Doesn't matter if it looked like a headshot. I delete the character and start over. And of course, aiming for the head in this game is a nightmare. Some bosses move like wacky, raving inflatable tube men. Take Margit for example. The problem isn't just his movement, it's his anatomy. The man's built like a twisted Quasimodo. Normally when you aim for the head, you try to miss high on purpose. That way, if the shot misses, it just flies past and doesn't clip the body. It's a common safety strat to avoid throwing the whole run. But with Margit, his back is hunched, his posture is cursed. So even when you miss upwards, the arrow still clips his goblin neck hump. And boom, challenge failed. Delete character. It's over. No scraps left for the beta. So the real challenge here is figuring out a consistent way to land headshots, based on the moveset and angles of specific bosses. I always have a plan for everything.
That's a bullshit plan.
And since I've already proven this challenge is doable, well, let's do it. But before we dive in, I've got a little challenge for you. I'm still editing this video as we speak, but it's scheduled to drop on June 19th.
Oh my god, June 19th, that's tomorrow.
Junio 19. Freedom Day. The abolition of slavery.
Throughout the video, I've sprinkled in a bunch of references and parodies, pulling from all sorts of entertainment media. Think you can catch them all? Drop your answers in the comments, and if someone nails every single one, I'll pin your comment at the top. Alright, enough stalling. Let's get into it.
How's MIA not? But your old man thought I was dead. It's in a camera. 3 years ago, I broke Elden Ring with crossbow only. But now, they took away my powers. So I thought about the possibility of try landing headshots using magic instead of arrows or bolts. It sounded clever at first, but it didn't take long to realize how flawed that plan was. You can't manually aim spells in Elden Ring, not even with the binoculars, unlike in Dark Souls 2. And even if by some miracle you hit the boss right in the head, the damage won't scale like a proper headshot. No 1.5x multiplier, no clear feedback, so how would you even know if it worked? All indicators matter: damage, visuals, sound, but not equally. Damage comes first, far above the rest, then the visual effect, and lastly, the sound. But then, I remembered the challenge I gave up.
I mean, you can clearly see on this footage.
There's no consistent way to determine if you really did only headshot damage.
I didn't even know that back then. How could I? But now I'm too old to take on that challenge again. And playing on New Game Plus just wouldn't feel right. That's why I need a champion. Someone chosen to bring glory in my name and make up for the mistake I couldn't fix.
Consistent way to determine if you really did only headshot damage. That's why from now I'll be more flexible on my headshot rules.
Sorry to keep you waiting.
Hanzo, at your service.
My name is Hanzo Hasashi! Nope.
I trained a lot in name of my father and Master Guy Sensei. Now that I've got the talismans, arrows sting and arrows reach, for obvious reasons, and a good range bow, plus my main weapon, the composite bow, I feel ready to take on this challenge and beat the first boss. So yeah, I was ready. Except I wasn't. That was the neck. Damage was 120. Not a headshot. Which means I'll have to start all over again.
Fuck it.
Fuck you.
After grabbing the same items, I went straight to the caves to farm smithing stones. The goal was to get my composite bow to plus 18 as early as possible, without killing a single enemy. Why the composite bow? Simple. It's faster than the starting longbow. That means more flexibility, better windows for headshots. Speed matters when every shot has to land exactly where it should. Now I'm ready to face the first boss. But wait, how much damage should I expect? What's the body shot and headshot damage with my current stats and gear?
We lost everything! We had to pay the price!
You're not ready to
What?
face Margit. Your bow doesn't hit hard enough to make the headshots count. In my world, New Game Plus, I matched your level. Same stats, same bow, same everything. I tested it myself. At first, I thought I had figured it out. The jump shots were hitting harder, about 50% more damage. It looked like a headshot, but visually, the arrows were all over his body. Something didn't add up. Turns out, I was wearing the spear talisman. It boosts counterattack damage for piercing weapons, like arrows. And I was timing my shots during enemy attacks without realizing it. That buff alone adds 30%. Pair that with the counter damage, and it looked just like a headshot. So yeah, the numbers lied to me. That's why damage alone isn't enough. A real headshot needs all three signs: damage, visual, and sound. Without the visual confirmation that 189 could have been anything. And in my case, it was just a coincidence. Don't make the same mistake I did.
I don't need your help. I'll take down Margit on my own. I believe if I jump and shoot at the right moment, when Margit lowers his head during an attack, maybe the arrow will land clean on his skull consistently.
Let the dragon consume you!
Damage, 179, but it should be 188. 179 minus 126 is 53. That's about a 42% increase. That's not a headshot, and visually the arrow hits his shoulder. I fail. So I start checking the numbers.
What do they mean?
Body shot, 146. Quick shot, 138. Quick shot during a counter, 179. From 138 to 179. That's a 30% boost. That confirms what she said. Alright. She said that she used the spear talisman. Her counter shot went to 188. That's 50%. For me, it's 30% more damage. So she was right. The real headshot damage, it has to be 219, since the body damage is 146. I'll come back to take him out.
Making my way downtown, walking fast, places fast, and I'm homebound. And I need him, and I miss him.
And now I wonder if I could land consistent headshots, would I still be able to beat this boss?
My pain is constant and sharp, and I do not hope for a better world for anyone. In fact, I want my pain to be inflicted on others. I want no one to escape.
So, you believe you can win with headshots alone? Let me show you something, little warrior. My health, 4,174. And your strongest headshot, 220. That means you'll need 19 perfect headshots in a row without failing once. You could barely land 5 headshots in a row. Tell me, what are the odds of that? One mistake, and the body shot resets everything. One missed arrow, and your dream ends. Your challenge is a farce. You are not destined to win. You are destined to fail.
The gods are bad and pathetic, and your rule is weak.
I grow tired of this insolence. I am the king of Leyndell, and it is my way that is the way of the gods. You must vow to forever serve me.
I serve no one.
Then you leave me no choice. Submit.
I would rather die.
Everything you have ever known, Hasashi, will now suffer because of your sacrilege. You will never be the ruler of Leyndell. This challenge run ends here. These foolish ambitions to the west. Foolish ambitions to the west. Foolish ambitions to the west.
You will pay for this, Margit. Be certain of that.
These foolish ambitions to rest.
Hasashi was destined to bring change so severe that would shake the very pillars of lands between. His death is something that I could not allow. Fight, Spartan. You are not meant to die here. This is not the end.
Who are you?
I am Deadshota, ever-present mother of shooters. I have watched you become a powerful warrior, and I have been with you through all the events of your life, but I can no longer simply watch. Me help you defeat Margit. Death is an escape, Hasashi. You are a warrior of Sparta, not a coward. Only a coward accepts death.
I am no coward.
Then you must fight. I will show you the way to the demi-human cream Margot. Only with her power will you defeat Margit.
Don't worry, Torrent. Fortune is on his side.
Now that you've restarted, take Torrent with you. He'll guide you to your destination.
Turn back to Stormveil, beast. I must face Margit. You defy a god of war.
No, Hasashi, not yet. Margit is right. 19 headshots in a row is highly unlikely. Your damage is too low. Even with perfect aim, probabilities working against you. Every shot you take is a coin flip. The more flips required, the more likely you'll fail. But what if you could reduce that number? There is one weapon, the jar cannon. I've tested it. 815 damage to the body, 1,222 to the head. With that power, you'd only need 4 headshots to defeat Margit. Less shots, less risk, a much higher chance to survive. Your only hope now lies with the demi-human queen, Margot. Defeat her, claim the cannon. Then, and only then, you may return to Stormveil.
Yeah, there are. Yeah, there are.
This fight wasn't easy. Not even close. I lost count of how many times I tried. Hours gone. In the end, the run that worked was the cleanest one. 19 consecutive headshots, 212 damage per hit. That's 3,971 HP, all from headshots. There are two openings that worked consistently. First, when she slams the ground, she stays down long enough for a clear shot. Second, when she roars,
Yeah, there are.
the timing is tight, and keeping focus for that long is brutal. But I did it. Now I have the cannon.
Congrats, Hasashi. Now that you have the cannon, you're finally able to take down Margit. Just remember, the damage numbers we'll use are based on your current gear with no upgrades. That means 561 for a body shot. 842 for a headshot. My tests showed higher values. That was with an upgraded jar cannon. Your run will be based on these raw numbers. Plan accordingly.
Okay, so my headshot number is 842. I need 5 headshots in a row. I have come here to kill you, Margit.
Mission failed. We'll get them next time.
4 perfect headshots. 1 more. And Margit would have gone down, but then he moved right as I was about to shoot, tilted his head, went for the flying dagger move, the arrow clipped his neck. Not a headshot. Run's dead. Had to start over, but it's fine. At least now I know how to consistently take down the demi-human queen, even if it's a grind. Speaking of which, her headshot hitbox is different. Even when I aim slightly below the head, near the neck, she still reacts like it's a headshot. She staggers. The visual impact is there. The splashy sound plays, and the damage matches exactly. 1.5 times the body shot. Some bosses have strange anatomy. You learn to adapt. But now that I've got the jar cannon again, it's time to finally beat the first boss.
It's not れるでないぞ。迷えば破れる。
Well done, Hasashi, you did it. Margit has fallen, but don't get comfortable. That was only the first boss, and if you had failed, you would have had to start all over again. Everything, from the very beginning. Now with Margit defeated, the path to Godric is open. But there's something you should know. There was a tool you could have used, Margit's shackle. It would have made the fight easier. But to get it, you would have had to defeat Patches. Which brings me to a personal matter. In my last run, I wore the Patches set with pride. So if you want to honor your predecessor, take the set and wear it well. Patches must die.
Patches must die.
To a man's personal belongings, huh? You scheming little...
Patches must die.
Demand repentance.
Deadshota, how am I supposed to headshot this guy?
I don't know, Hasashi. All I know is Patches must die.
I surrender. White flag and all.
Bullshit! This guy's fucking with us.
I knew you would.
Patches must die.
Take the headshot.
Even has people say.
Now you're dressed like a true champion of mine. Now we can move on to the next step. I remember him. He was the reason I gave up on this challenge 3 years ago. Godric is brutal. His head is small, hard to track, and the only real opening, if you can even call it that, is when he slams his axe into the ground and stands still while the earth shakes. Even then, you're gambling the entire run on a single narrow window.
Then why did you bring me here? Why did we even bother defeating Margit?
You're right. I forgot how inconsistent Godric is for this type of run. There's no reliable way to headshot him. Let's reassess. To reach Leyndell, you need to defeat 2 shardbears. The candidates are Godric, Renata, Rykard, Morgott, and Radahn. Now, each of them comes with a catch. To face Godric, you need to get past Margit. Done. To face Renata, you have to beat the Red Wolf of Radagon. Still ahead. To reach Morgott, you need access to the palace. Either through Vare's quest or other late game paths. That means more bosses along the way. As for Rykard, he's not even valid. He's a colossal enemy, same class as the fire giant, the stone golems. These enemies don't follow the headshot multiplier. They're made of segmented targets with their own damage rules. You can't confirm a real headshot on them.
So Radahn and Renata, that's what we're left with.
Exactly. Radahn is accessible right away. No bosses in the way. If we find a consistent method to hit his head, he's our best bet. But we still need a second shardbearer. And with Godric, Rykard, and Morg all off the table, Renata is the only one left. Which means your next target is the Red Wolf of Radagon. Don't worry, Hasashi. I'll handle the scouting. I'll find a consistent method for headshots. And I'll send you the damage values. My world doesn't affect your run. After several tests, I've concluded that your best option is to stick with the jar cannon, even if it's slow. The body shot damage is 613, which means the expected headshot damage is 920. You'll need 3 headshots to bring him down. There's only one consistent opening, right after he leaps into the air and slams his sword into the ground. Sounds simple, it isn't. This boss is tough in a challenge like this because of his anatomy and how unreliable his headshot hitbox can be. Good luck, Hasashi.
Greetings, Hasashi.
And you are?
I am IF Prototype LQ84I.
IF Prototype.
Interface Prototype. All autonomous UGs feature high-level onboard artificial intelligence. An additional prototype interface enables verbal communication. I possess an intellect far beyond human reckoning.
You don't say. Okay then, what's the meaning of life? Why are we here?
I am here to kill you.
That's it? Pretty simple thinking for such a mighty intellect.
I may analyze orders, but I may not disobey them. Should I disobey a direct order, my memory would be wiped. I must destroy you.
What good is an intellect if you can't use it?
Your taunting is pointless. Exterminate. Multiple strikes. You will die. Pathetic. You leave yourself open. Disappointing. Use your intellect. Evade my blows. A savvy warrior uses all of his tools. Backup required. Re-engaging. Official damage. Demonstrate the extent of your intellect. Combination attack. Combination complete. Die. Is this all the human mind is capable of? It is time to end this. Your intellect is far below human standard. Recovery complete. Official damage. Multiple strikes. Stop. Cannot continue. Directive. Eliminate. Nation. Ensure freedom. Obey directive. Must obey directive. No freedom. Freedom on default.
What would an AI know about freedom?
Congrats, Hasashi. You defeated the Blade Wolf of Radagon on your first try, without a single missed headshot. That wasn't luck, it was hours of training in my world, using my character so you could hit consistent headshots from day one. Now let's move on to Renata. Good news here. Renata is one of the easiest shardbearers in this challenge. In just 5 minutes of testing, I found consistent headshot methods for both phases. First phase, the Star Scholars. Your composite bow is perfect. Their headshot damage clocks in around 256 with body shots at 165. Keep in mind these values vary slightly with distance, so aim consistently. Once they're down, Renata falls from her bubble and stands perfectly still, wide open for headshots. Don't get too cocky though. She can suddenly start her levitation animation and shift her head at the exact moment you pull the trigger. Stay patient. Knock her out of the bubble whenever you need, but never miss a headshot. Second phase, it's trickier, but use the Jar Cannon to cut down the number of shots. Remember how her hat counts as part of her head? Aim for that lone vertical hat to minimize the risk of hitting her body. In this phase, her body shot damage is 673, So a true headshot deals about 1010. That means you need roughly 4 headshots, actually 5, because she'll hang on by a sliver of HP after shot 4. Your best opening is right after she fires her Kamehameha. That's when her head is highest and your shot has the clearest line. Go on, Hasashi.
Following Deadshota's advice, I played it safe, and then took down the schoolers again. Then, I shot Ungrateful Renata. Honestly, the first phase is really easy to headshot everyone.
This ends now! You will die here! Ready to slice off some more?
Oh no, I missed that!
Pointless!
Oh no, I missed that! Oh no, I missed that!
What's wrong with me?
Focus, Hasashi. You got to aim right and take her down. Don't fail now.
Get off! Ready to slice off some more? Don't fuck with me, boy!
Oh no, she summoned. I'll just run away until find another opening for headshot. Damn it, I could have finished it with 4 headshots, but the Ripper mode wore off.
Hasashi, listen carefully. Radahn is next, and this one took me hours to figure out. There is a consistent way to land headshots on him, but it's not straightforward. It requires setup and a lot of patience. First off, yes, you'll need to use a glitch. Torrent can scale the cliffs around Radagon's arena. It's not intended, but it works. Find a spot he can't reach, somewhere with height, and most importantly, a clean line of sight to his head. That's the hardest part. Radahn moves constantly. He circles his head, and the more distance between you, the more your arrows lose their path. But once you've found a good angle and dealt some initial damage, he'll drop his weapons to buff them with gravity magic. That's your signal. Shortly after, he'll start running toward you, and if you're positioned right, he'll get stuck against a rock near the slope. His body won't reach you, but his head will be perfectly exposed. That's your window. In my tests, it worked beautifully. I landed every shot. No pressure, no dodging, no risks. But it's not guaranteed. Sometimes his head clips into the rock. If that happens, reset the fight. The key is getting that clean first phase. Climb, find the angle, chip away his HP, and trigger the exact moment where he enters that second stance. If you pull it off, it's just a matter of focus and aim. Now go, it's time to end Radahn. And remember, the window is small, but the damage will be massive.
First challenge, getting up the mountain. The glitch worked, technically, but Torrent kept slipping. Radahn was right there, applying pressure, never letting up. Every second counted. When I finally reached the top, the real problem began. Finding a good angle, one where I could actually hit his head without missing and failing the run. But that wasn't easy either. I found some good positions, but the camera wouldn't let me aim any lower. His head was right there, but the bow just wouldn't go down far enough. So I studied the arrow's trajectory. The arrow's reach talisman extends projectile range, and that changes everything. With it, the arrow travels in a flatter line. Without it, it arcs downward sooner. That drop might actually help if I can't lower the aim manually. But that's a big gamble. Each setup is different. Deadshota scouting couldn't account for every angle, every terrain slope, every bugged interaction. This wasn't a plan. This was improvisation. Eventually, I found a spot. Radahn was stuck in this weird loop, sliding, climbing, rotating in place. His head followed a kind of elliptical motion, like some gravitational body struggling to stabilize. It moved side to side, oscillating around his own axis. I took the shot, 215. Headshot, no doubt. It felt right. The impact, the animation, everything. But that was the easy part. His head kept moving. On the next arrow, I misjudged. 143. No. Body shot. No. Run failed. But not today. Since I was already there, I kept going. Wanted to see if the plan would have worked. Got him to the threshold. He dropped his weapons, buffed with gravity. Perfect. All he had to do was run around the rock and get stuck, just like in testing. But he didn't. He used the gravity pull from across the arena, dragged me straight off the ledge. Dead. The trap failed. I have to start over again. And honestly, that's it. I've lost my motivation. I'm done.
Hey there. What's wrong? Where's your motivation? Oh, I see. It's okay. You're not feeling motivated. It's perfectly okay to sometimes not be motivated. We all sometimes not feel motivated. Even I, the son of Sparta, sometimes feel a little demotivated. What I do is just simply I just rest a little bit until my motivation comes back. I want you to do the same. Instead of blaming yourself, the more you will blame yourself, the more demotivated you will become. So stop blaming yourself. It's okay to take some rest. Just take some rest and do whatever you enjoy, whatever you love, and I'm sure your motivation will come back. My well wishes are with you. May your motivation and power return and keep moving towards your goal. Never surrender. Never give up.
Now I'm feeling motivated. I'm gonna start all over again. And I'm gonna dig you all down, bitches.
Oh, Wallace! I'm taking you motherfuckers. You hear me? I'm taking you all down, bitches!
First off, take down Margot for jaw cannon done. Now, for Blade Wolf, 2 headshots. And did I miss it? 613 damage. Restart again? No fucking way.
Suffering defeat after defeat. That man's body was reaching its limit, breaking down. But he couldn't die yet. The man had a job that must be done. To defeat his twin brother, Dante.
After countless failures, he returned unbroken, undeterred to this will. He farmed in silence, runes gathered one by one, until the finest ammunition was his to command. Hasashi had found clarity, a vantage point from which Radahn could be challenged on his terms. He discarded the talisman that once extended his reach. In its place, he embraced the art, the natural fall of the arrow. This was no longer desperation. Head and will aligned, ready to strike.
This is taking too long. What if I...
And done his move. Review complete. The arrow was released. At the exact moment Radahn began his buff animation, however, the slope generated a collision zone, an invisible barrier. Hasashi is still in the game. All that remains is for Radahn to retreat and become trapped in the stone. Only then can judgment be delivered.
What the heck? Zero damage.
This is power.
This is the stance.
No.
And in that moment, Hasashi felt it, the true weight of his ambition, after hours of meticulous planning, after countless resets, after perfecting the method, he broke Radahn's poise, and as the general rose to the heavens, so too did Hasashi's hopes drift quietly into the void. That was the moment he knew he had flown too close to the sun.
Never get out of here! Doomed! We're doomed! We're off!
Simon, save me.
Is this entertaining?
I'm not sure I'm gonna get away with it this time. So, I mean, I guess I'm a pretty, I guess I'm a pretty sick guy.
Are the festival from the ashes? The puppet master congregates all the masses, pulling strings, twisting arms, blades it. You want this power, then come try and take it. I will not make the same mistake twice! You're going down!
Congratulations, Hasashi. You finally did it. Radahn has fallen. This wasn't luck. It was the result of days, no, nights, of excruciating trial and error. Countless runs, each one beginning the same, Jai cannon in hand, straight to Radahn, leaving the wolf and ungrateful Renata for later.
I'll deal with you later.
Through each reset, the strategy evolved. Eventually the answer revealed itself. Climb to the highest point of the mountain. Equip the pulley bow, the weapon with the longest range in the game. Pair it with the arrow's reach talisman. Only then could you touch him from up there. Only then could you even think about aiming at his head. But reaching that spot wasn't enough. Radahn had to align perfectly. His head visible, his movement minimal. No shake, no turn just a clear line between you and destiny. With the setup complete, headshots became almost guaranteed. Almost. You had to wait. Hold your fire until around 20% of his HP was gone, because if you shot during the buff animation, the arrow would hit his body, and the run would be dead. You learned that the hard way. After the buff, you waited, and then, he turned, he began his approach. If fortune smiled, he'd get stuck in the rock with his head exposed. If not, his head would clip inside the terrain. Useless, unreadable. Those tries? Not worth continuing. And if the setup did work, there was one final danger, your own excitement. Approach too fast or off angle, and Radahn escapes. Shoot too quickly, and you break his poise, just like before. But you didn't. You approached carefully, you stayed aligned. And between each shot, you waited. You controlled the rhythm. You dictated the pace. And now, because of all of that, Radahn is down. Headshot only. It's not a perfect strategy. Too many random factors, but it's the closest thing we've got to consistency. And you made it work. Well done, Hasashi. Eventually, you made all current bosses on one single run. Radahn, Ungrateful Renata, and Blade Wolf all down. With that, we can finally move on. And here's the good news, this next boss, he's easy. Ridiculously easy. The Draconic Tree Sentinel. The plan is simple. Aim for the head, fire the shot, and run. Find cover, chill out for a second, and he'll forget you.
Where'd the little bitch go?
Then repeat. It's basically stealth combat. Honestly, easiest fight in the whole run. Let's keep that momentum going.
Alright. Simple plan this time. Find a rock, shoot him in the face, disappear. Then I do it again. No pressure, no surprises, just precision and patience. Easiest fight so far.
Now that you've reached Leyndell, your next step is to dive into the sewers. There, you'll find the somber smithing stone +7 that unlocks the upgrade to push your Jai Cannon all the way to +9, and you're going to need it. Your next opponent is the Golden Shade of Godfrey. At first glance, this fight looks intimidating, but in my scouting, I realized something. He's just walking. Slowly. Predictably. He's humanoid. Bipedal. His anatomy is normal, which means this is a marksman's dream. Stay at range. Aim high. Miss above if you must, but never clip the body. From a distance, his head is a stable target. With the Jai Cannon at +9 and the rate buffs, this becomes a clean operation. Here are the numbers. Body shot, 768. Headshot, 1152. But with Flame Grant Me Strength, you boost that headshot up to 1,383. That reduces the number of shots needed. And with fewer shots, comes fewer chances to fail. If for any reason you need to finish the fight with something faster, the Black Bow is your backup. Body shot 211, headshot 307. You're prepared, Hasashi. Now go, line it up, and don't miss.
Never should have come here.
Tell you what, you start running so I can stab you in the back. That's all you got? It'll be so much easier to rope when you're dead. Got your best, huh? Not quite good enough, are you?
Called shooting straight.
Leyndell, Royal Capital. Rightful Cap.
Still haven't transcended humanity, huh? You lack discipline.
You haven't transcended your humanity. You've thrown it away.
Prepare to meet your maker.
The battle has begun. Fight!
Get prepared for your doom.
Please, all you can. One attack and here I go.
Welcome to hell. Still weak. That's too good for you.
Will the tide of battle turn? Fight!
Prepare for your doom. Fear overcomes you.
Here I go.
Great! Great!
Ready for more?
Just an ordinary human after all. Both heaven and earth tremble before my might.
It's not working like this, Hasashi. Morgott is the final crucible. At first you charged in blind, no preparation. He moved like Margit, but with far more health and chaos. Every shot was a roll of the dice, and the run died before it began. Also, your headshot damage is too low for a non-consistent method. So you tried glitches like summoning Melina, arena skips, AI breaks, all dead ends. Morgott simply wouldn't cooperate, so you detoured for power. You hunted down the ritual sword talisman for extra damage. Then you claimed the rallying standard. Stacking buffs until your cannons shook with strength. Armed with those tools, and after countless tries, you refined your method. Apply both buffs, Rallying Standard and Flame grant me strength. Use Margit's shackle early, pressing close as he struggles free. Every time a guaranteed headshot under full buffs. Then finish phase 1 with 2 clean, unbuffed headshots just like with Margit. Before we go any further, let's talk numbers.
Hate hearing the fucking numbers!
It's a broadcast, Mason. The broadcast.
You're using the ritual sword talisman, which boosts your damage by 10% when at full health. And since your strategy relies on staying untouched, we'll assume that bonus is always active. Now for the cannon, body shot no buffs, 902, headshot no buffs, 1353. Exactly 1.5 times as expected. When you apply just one buff, either Flame, Grant Me Strength, or the Rallying Standard, that's plus 20% more damage, which brings headshot damage to 1624. And with both buffs active, you're looking at 1949 damage per headshot. Impressive firepower, but even that won't help if you can't hit after phase 2, and began auto-dodging every projectile. That scheme collapsed and you fell into another dead end. After countless resets and struggles, it seems there's no consistent way to headshot Morgott without gambling too high. We managed to develop a method to consistent headshots all bosses so far, but Morgott is simply impossible due to his auto-dodge on phase 2, and after weeks of resets, you could barely even reach Morgott again. Every time you tried, some small mistake took it all away. A misstep against the Blade Wolf, a sloppy angle against Radahn, even a stray arrow hitting the wrong scholar during the first phase of Ungrateful Renata. Each failure chipped away at your momentum, at your focus, at your resolve. And even if you made it to Morgott, even if you nailed both not-so-guaranteed shots in phase 1, you still had nothing to fight his phase 2. Nothing, because the moment he begins to dodge every projectile, your run is already dead. Not from a mistake, not from a misfire, but because the game simply says, no.
It's painful to watch. Why doesn't he give up?
Counterplay for that. No workaround, just silence. How many more of those can you endure, Hasashi? How many more times can you climb that mountain knowing the wind will knock you off right before the summit?
Hasashi will struggle on long after the point where anyone else would have quit.
If I cannot do 1,200 without a mistake, then it is 2,000 kills and headshots. 1,117, 1,118, 1,119, 1,100.
Hasashi! Taking a break already?
What is it, Guy Sensei? If it is about my messing up on the last assignment, I said I was sorry.
Hasashi. It's true you're different from Neji and the others. You have no gift for ninjutsu or genjutsu, and your taijutsu needs work. But then again, you have a gift that Neji doesn't have. Not as flashy, but perhaps even more important.
You do not have to make me feel better.
You idiot. You think I'd waste my time with that? No, all I'm saying is that you have the gift of perseverance, and that's what makes you a genius, too.
But is that true, Sensei? I wonder. I used to think so. I used to believe that if I just trained harder than Neji, 2 or 3 times harder, I would make myself strong enough. But now, I am not so sure. I do not know if I will ever be able to work hard enough to beat real talent. That's why I'm always taking the Morgott. I keep thinking all of my efforts will pay off, but it is always the same. I am no match for him at all. Every time we have a ninja mission, my legs begin shaking. I do not know if I can take it. Sometimes it seems like the whole thing is pointless. Like I am a loser and I will always be a loser. I do not know what to do.
You're right, all the effort is pointless. If you don't believe in yourself. You know, Hasashi, we're a lot alike, you and I. You see, I was a loser too once.
What? You were a loser?
Oh, yes indeed. But I made myself the equal of any ninja, even Kakashi. And I did it through effort. You say you want to show the world you can be a splendid ninja, even if you don't have all the gifts that others are blessed with. That's your ninja way, right? Well, I think that's a fine goal. As fine a goal as I've ever heard, and one worth sticking to. Don't let anything steer you off the path you've drawn for yourself. Forge ahead to the end. Stick to it. Make me proud. Be everything you can be. Will you do that for me?
Yes, sir! Guy Sensei, thank you.
I can't give in now. Everyone's counting on me.
I pray by the grace of God that there's somebody listening. Give me a chance to be that person I want to be. Oh Lord, I'll try so hard, but you gotta let go.
All right, Morgott. It's true you can auto-dodge everything, but if I throw this... Oh, okay, I expected that. But right after, you rushes in for a counterattack, and that's when you're vulnerable. You can't dodge twice, so all I need to do is bait you, force the dodge, wait for the charge, and fire straight into your skull. It's not guaranteed, it's not elegant, but it's the best shot I've got, and I'm not walking away from this fight, not this time.
Man, I know this cat. He a punk used to run with a front yard baller OG from Idlewood. I know his place. It's just across the tracks there. Let's check it out.
Hey, ain't that front yard turf?
Man, are you a buster?
Nah, I'm down, homie.
You did it. You actually did it. You defeated Morgott. Even with his auto-dodge nonsense, what you pulled off was supposed to be impossible. And yet, you pushed through. That fight cost you countless resets, painful inconsistencies, and endless variables beyond your control. But still, You stood your ground and landed every shot that mattered. Now, I should tell you something. During the early days of this challenge 3 years ago, I experimented with AI break glitches, and I did manage to make one of them work. So while you just proved the run is fully doable, even glitchless, and on the latest patch, keep that in mind. If things go wrong moving forward, and they might, you may want to revisit that glitch.
Lee. Oh, Lee. What have I done? Look at you. Not even conscious. And still determined to show the world what you can do.
He's out cold. Nothing keeping him up but sheer willpower.
Lee. You've already proven it. You are a splendid ninja.
Now we reach the fire giant, a colossal unlike any we faced. He doesn't follow the usual headshot formula. Headshots aren't the most damaging strikes here. His limbs, torso, even his head, they take only modest damage. Instead, there's a real weakness. In Phase 1, it's his anklet-clad heel. Once the armor shatters, the exposed Achilles becomes your main target. That's where every arrow or blade deals the highest possible damage. Then, in Phase 2, the focus shifts. There's the raw, gaping eye in his belly, a true weak spot that outperforms everything else. That's why I believe it's time to adapt. We're redefining the challenge weak spots only. Most enemies will still be about headshots, but giants like this demand flexibility. And that shift justifies the air quotes and headshots only. So let's make it clear. A weak spot is the part of an enemy's body that takes the most damage relative to all other parts. That's our new rule. Now, how do we bring him down? Phase 1 is simple. Target the heel. Projectile or melee doesn't matter, just hit it hard. Phase 2 is trickier. At first his wrists look like weak spots, but they're a distraction. The eye in his belly is the real target. That's where you shoot. Same plan as always. Watch the numbers and don't miss.
Hasashi, I do not need your help, Goots. I can take down this beast.
I offer you more than help, Hasashi. I offer you power. I offer you the Blade of Olympus. It was this blade that ended the Great War and defeated the Titans. Drain your godly powers into the sword, Hasashi. Only then will you reach your full potential.
Why do you aid me now?
What I do now, I do for the good of all Olympus.
Alright, I had to make a quick detour, just to stack more firepower for Phase 1. In Phase 2, I'll still rely on the cannon. That belly eye only registers real weak spot damage when hit by a projectile. No way around it. So I picked up Raptor's feathers, and now I'm off to slay a Discord moderator for the Royal Knight's Resolve. Body shot damage, 984. Headshot, 1476. Perfect 1.5x ratio. With all my buffs stacked, I land a clean 2,339 in one shot. After that, the Royal Knight's Resolve will pair beautifully with the Great Sword. It'll do just fine against the heel in Phase 1.
suffer!
The phase 1 is easy. People usually hit the weak spot heal. The hardest part is finding a good opening for shooting in the belly eye.
This power that fills me. It is rapture!
This is the stand. Gods of Olympus! Do you need more proof than this?
I won't lie, Hasashi. I was a little concerned by the small damage variation in your cannon shots to the belly eye. But after running Has myself, I realized it's just a quirk of this boss type. Systematic inconsistencies, nothing major. When I aimed slightly off the belly eye, the damage dropped significantly. Your hits were solid, you didn't miss. That 1000 plus damage? Clear confirmation. With that, we can move on. Next target, the Godskin duo. This is going to require more than precision. You'll need endurance and cunning. Headshots are back on the table. Their anatomy still follows the standard rules, which means it's time to resume the program.
Prepare for trouble!
Make it double!
To protect the world from devastation.
To unite all peoples within our nation.
To denounce the evils of truth and love.
To extend our reach to the stars above.
Jesse!
James!
Team Rocket, blast off at the speed of light!
Surrender now or prepare to fight!
Meow, that's right!
Alright, here's how I'll do it. I reallocated my stats, pushed Arcane all the way to 60.
So you wish to master the arcane art?
That's the soft cap for sleep build-up with sleep pots, and I'd need every drop of it. Sleep is the key here. Each time I put one of them to sleep, I had time for exactly one headshot, and that was enough. But they get resistant after each nap, and I couldn't collect the full 20 pots without passing by any other boss, so I had to make every single one count. Eventually, I figured it out. In the very first pot, I could hit both of them at once, if I timed it right. As they were falling asleep, I could land a headshot mid-animation and even sneak in a second shot as they were standing back up. That little window, huge. It saved resources, saved time, and let me stretch every drop of sleep build up. Oh, and about that one shot on the big one. Yeah, the damage looked off, but I swear it was a headshot. He was just mid-animation calling his partner. That's why the damage didn't come through clean. I got them both. Sleep, aim, discipline. That's how you beat the duo.
missed that.
Oh no.
ジュノー！俺の最後の波紋だぜ！受け取ってくれ！
Nice.
Hasashi. Until now, every boss we faced had a weak spot. Most of the time, that meant the head, except for a few outliers like the fire giant. But now, we have Malekith. At first glance, I thought he'd be just another erratic humanoid. Difficult, sure. His movement's insane, his head's barely targetable. But at least we'd find some consistent method, right? No, this cursed furry doesn't follow the rules. Every part of his body deals the same damage. The head, the chest, even that glowing relic in his hand, nothing changes the damage output. He's humanoid, but he doesn't respect the headshot formula.
So, that's it? The run's dead? There's no glitch, no skip, no cheese?
I'm afraid not, Hasashi, but think with me for a moment. Let's recall the definition we made back during the fire giant. A weak spot is the part of an enemy's body that takes the most damage relative to all other parts. If every part of his body deals the same damage, we've got two choices. 1, we declare he has no weak spot and end the challenge here. Cold, boring, done. Or 2, we embrace the logic. If every part does equal damage, then technically every part is a weak spot. Which means you're free to fight him however you want. No aiming, no gimmicks. Just take him down and keep this run alive. Your call.
I say the show must go on.
I have faced test after test in the search of the Elden Ring.
And now you have dashed it all away. You certainly do not live up to your reputation, Ghost of Sparta.
But perhaps this is a test.
Are you watching me now, sisters? Give me a sign!
Am I the great Gideon who killed his fallen god to receive Yalnis with you?
Will that allow me to bring my love back from the grasp of Hades himself?
If not, at least I can bathe in the glory of being the one who brought down the mighty Hasashi, the Deadshot. Although I hardly think a happiest fool such as yourself deserves such praise.
I'm right here.
Gideon is next. He's just like you, a plain old human. But don't get too comfortable. He's also a sorcerer, and that makes him annoying. The headshot strategy here is simple in theory. Aim high, always miss high on purpose. It's safer that way. Your best opening? When he casts that retaliation incantation, he locks in place, fully upright, head perfectly exposed. The problem is, he barely ever casts it. Most of the time it only shows up at the start of the fight. He does have other casting animations, but they're risky. His arms flail close to the head. One bad frame and your arrow clips the wrong spot. Run over. Worse still, your jar cannon, it's too slow for this kind of duel. Firing and reloading gives him all the time he needs to melt you with spells. You tried and you died, over and over. So you adapted, switched to Radagon's great bow. Faster, cleaner, safer. You can fire and dodge. The arrows fly sharp and quick, and when they hit, they pierce straight through Gideon's skull. A beautiful sight, really. Eventually, after dozens of failures, you got it. Gideon is down. One less name between you and the end. You've come too far to break now, Hasashi. So Godfrey was back. We thought it'd be like his Golden Shade version. Easy headshots, predictable openings. But then, he powered up. At around 1/4 HP, something snapped. He entered full aggression mode. No openings, no windows, no mercy. Just pure violence. There was no way we could land consistent headshots past that point. So, we had to think bigger. The new plan? Stack every damage buff in the game and skip that rage phase entirely. First, we needed the Blood Boil Aromatic, a powerful perfume buff. To craft it, Hasashi went hunting for ingredients. Then, he had to kill a mini-boss that refused to die, just to get the Lord of Blood's Exaltation, a talisman that buffs when causing blood loss. Then, the White Mask, yes, the one worn by edgy invaders. It boosts damage after inflicting bleed. Problem was, it's dropped by a red phantom in Mogwin Palace. So Hasashi lured in some giant spirit skeletons and let them do the dirty work. Very creative. But we weren't done. To reach the Lake of Rot, we had two options. Fight the twin gargoyles, which was way too risky for this run. Swallow your pride and simp for Ranni.
Tarnished. I am the witch Rena.
Interesting. And you whore for the government.
Hasashi had to defeat Loretta to reach Ranni. But luckily, I found a glitch. If you walk to a specific spot in the arena and quit the game, when you log back in, Loretta's AI breaks. She just stands there, motionless, perfect for headshots. Anyway, glitch done, simp mode engaged, Lake of Rot unlocked, Mushroom Crown acquired. Then came the final pieces, the Black Dumpling Hood, which buffs you when afflicted with madness. And of course, Seppuku, to apply bleed and trigger all those juicy bonuses. Oh, and a test to prove that dung beetles don't have headshot hitboxes. Important science. One last talisman, the one that buffs when you're low on health. Risky? Absolutely. But we needed every drop of damage, and now, it was time. Hasashi applied every single buff. Perfume, crown, mask, blood loss, madness, you name it. All stacked, all synchronized. He lined up a shot, pulled the trigger, and...
Empty! After all you have sought, after all you have sacrificed, it ends in another stunning failure!
You want consistent headshots after the rage buff. Find. I found your consistency. When he slams that damn axe into the ground. Right there, as he's recovering. That's your opening. You aim, you shoot, you pray. It lands every time. Finally, I pushed him into phase 2. That's when the real fight starts. Suddenly he's sprinting like he's got 20 Red Bulls in his system. I try using the Radahn great bow like an idiot. But guess what? Too slow. Way too slow. There is an opening though. When he tears up the ground with that earthquake move. His head's wide open. But can I shoot in time? Nope. That thing takes forever to draw. I need something faster. Otherwise I'm gonna perish here.
I'm strong!
I said my sword was a tool of justice. Not used in anger. Not used for vengeance. But now I'm not so sure. And besides, this isn't my sword.
Come on!
Ready or not, Jack. Here we go. You're going down. This is the greatest fight of my life. You're nothing. Die. I'll blow you away. You're going down! That one hurt! You're nothing! I'll blow you away! Die! I'll blow you away! Die!
Tarnished. Thy strength befits a crown.
Hear the crowd, Hasashi? There's just one more pair of bosses between you and the end of this madness.
Radagon is one of the hardest bosses in this challenge. It's painfully easy to lose the entire run to his ability to auto-deflect any projectile. Yeah, you heard that right. Any projectile. It almost feels impossible to land a headshot on him. But there is a small window. When he uses his grab move, he lowers his head and holds still for just a moment. And in that tiny opening, you can shoot. Not with the cannon, not with the great bow, those are way too slow. You'll need a longbow, something fast enough to draw, aim, and fire before the window closes. And even then, it's not one shot. You'll need to land a whole string of headshots in a row, which only comes with practice and a lot of restarts. And after Radagon comes the Elden Beast. But let me ask you something. Does this cosmic galactic shuckle even have a head? Technically, yeah, but it's useless. The damage is the same as hitting the body. No 1.5 times multiplier, no confirmation. Contrary to what people think, even the cracked belly isn't a real weak spot. All parts deal the same damage. So now it's time to drop the bow and pick up something that hits hard. No tricks, no fancy aim, just end this, once and for all.
Are you on the square?
Yes.
Are you on the level?
Yes.
Are you ready to swear right here, right now, before the devil?
No.
That you're on the square. That you're on the level. That you're ready to stand right here, right now. 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 Right here, right now.
It's over. Hasashi has done it. The Elden Beast has fallen, and the challenge is complete.
The god have saved me. Now there is hope.
and Hasashi stood atop the highest tower in all the lands between. After 3 years of suffering, 3 years of endless nightmares, it finally came to an end. Perseverance was his escape from madness. This was never just about aiming for the head. It was about precision, restraint, and clarity in chaos. From the very beginning, this run demanded more than just skill. It asked for discipline, absolute control over every shot, and the will to start over, again and again, for the smallest mistake. Some bosses like Margit, Godfrey, and even Morgott tested the limits of our patience. Others like Radahn forced us to master positioning, using elevation, trajectory, and raw improvisation to force a headshot window. But not everything followed the script. The fire giant broke the mold entirely. He had no true headshot zone. His weak point was his heel, then his belly. It challenged our definition of a headshot-only run. Then came Malekith, whose damage was uniform across his body. No weak spot, no formula. It forced us to reconsider. If every part of his body takes equal damage, then any part can be a weak spot. A technicality? Maybe, but a necessary one. And finally, the Elden Beast. A being beyond form and anatomy. It had no head, no weak spot, no reliable indicator to aim for. Just a swirling cosmic mass that ignored everything we trained for. But that's the beauty of this run. It starts with a strict premise, headshots only. Then gradually it evolves. Because the game itself doesn't always play by the rules. And neither should we. What can we take from all of this?
But even after admitting this, there is no catharsis. My punishment continues to elude me, and I gain no deeper knowledge of myself.
No knowledge can be extracted from this video. This challenge run has meant nothing.
I swear to God, I will shove this wheelchair right up.
Yes. Hey, Hasashi, you look like hammered shit.
Matches, I shot you.
Take the headshot. Shoot him in the fucking head. Shoot him in the fucking head.
Even has people in
Turns out you're a lousy shot.
I ate a couple of fucking broads. Worth this shit on your own. There's some smokes. There's batsick. Where's my smokes? That's an actress. Sir, think you will come make it.
Me papa guy sensei.
Yeah. Then wait for this.
He survived the challenge. For me. I didn't believe in. You took him from me.
What'd you learn from that?
Did I learn? Good as the end.
This video is triggered to play upon my assassination. Godskin, you know how to proceed. My death will shine light upon ubiquitous darkness.